Hello everyone, it's your AnimeSenpai here, and if you are an anime fan like myself, just make yourself comfortable and let me present you a list of 10 awesome anime to start watching today. And to start this list off, we got Kuroshi Tsuji. He tells us the story of Ciel Phantom Hive, a 13-year-old English lord who is the head of the Phantom Hive household, and his butler named Sebastian, who also happens to be a demon. I know it's really weird, the fact of a demon is serving a little brat, but the thing is that they have a contract, and according to this contract, Sebastian is Ciel's servant, but once the boy dies, Sebastian will have the rights to the boy's soul. Caught your attention yet? The story takes place during the Victorian era, and because of that, there are parts based on England history. For instance, Jack the Ripper's appearance, and some other ones too, such as the reference to the Opium War in China and some troubles going down in India. It's really surprising anime. Even though it's a shonen, it's far from being one of those generic formula-based ones, and I can guarantee whoever watched this one will have a very good time. In 9th place, we have Devilman Crybaby, which is available right now on Netflix if you wanna check it out. Well, in this one we get to know a very empathetic and sensitive boy who may also be a wimp most of the time. He lives downtown in a city which seems to be Tokyo. One day he's trying to help this girl he likes to run away from some very inconvenient dudes. They manage to get away from those guys and they stumble upon his childhood best friend, and this friend tells him he needs our protagonist to go on a mission related to his anthropology and demonology studies, which of course results in the sensitive boy called Akira Fudo ending up at a party full of good and nasty things. His childhood friend named Ryo Asuka then tells him that demons are being summoned and manages to trick Akira into getting possessed by a demon, and against all the expectations, Akira does control the demon and become a creature with a demonic body but a human soul. He goes completely nuts in the beginning with this whole situation as his body urges to kill and feed on humans, but his soul and mind reminds him that giving in to those demonic urges would be wrong. I watched this anime on the very same day they released it on Netflix, and let me tell you that this one is crazy. To be honest, the art style was something that bothered me a little bit in the beginning, but I got used to it and I can definitely appreciate it now. In 8th place is the anime Devil Survivor 2. The story is about an app called Nikkei, which you sign up and get a video of your death. Obviously, most take that lightly, as a joke, but it ends up becoming reality. So one day, Hibiki and Daichi, two very close friends, one coming back from a school test, they receive an email containing a video where they both die in a subway crash. They are already in the station, so they try to run away, but the inevitable happens. So after the crash, they get an invitation asking them whether they wanted to live or die, and they obviously chose to live. Right after they get up, they see a girl who was also in the station being attacked by some monsters. Suddenly, her phone rang and a demon is summoned. This demon helps them finish the monsters off. Once back to the surface, they realize that everything has changed. The city looks like ancient ruins of what it was. The apocalypse is coming as a survival game. Creepy, huh? This anime is based on a series of spin-off games from the Shin Megami Tensei series, which is very popular. I mean, you probably heard of Persona before, right? So here is my recommendation to watch this show, and also play the game if you have the chance. In 7th place, we have the anime named Hakenden Touhou Heiken, where we meet Shino Inuzuka, his friend Suzuki Inukawa, and a girl named Hamaji, who was raised as their sister. The mystery kicks off early as Shino and Suzuki both have a peony-shaped birthmark, and they are not the only ones sharing that. We also have Genpaichi Inukai and Kobongo Inuta, who also have been raised as brothers and have the same birthmark, but many miles apart from Suzuki and Shino, which makes everything even more weird. 3 years prior to the beginning of our story, Genpaichi and Kobongo headed north taking part in the army, but the mission takes a turn for the worse and they end up facing some demons. After that, they come back. They could transform into demons themselves. Now, for some reason, the church comes to Shino and Suzuki, telling them they must find 6 mystical beads in their holders, or face a fate worse than death by the church's hands. A very dark plot with this whole evil church thing, huh? In 6th place, we have Blood Lad. It's a very awesome anime where we get to know Stas, a vampire who has his very own section in Makai. It's a world full of demons and other supernatural creatures. Even though he's incredibly powerful, he is also a total weeb who prefers playing video games and reading manga instead of going out to suck blood out of people. Just like ourselves, huh? His world turns upside down when a human girl named Fuyumi accidentally ends up going into his world by a portal of some sort. Stas immediately falls for the girl. They even start talking about anime, but the conversation is suddenly interrupted when Stas finds out there's someone trying to take his place as the badass in Makai. He leaves his apartment to solve said issue and leaves Fuyumi by herself for a while. Once he returns, he finds out that the girl is now dead, and he starts a journey to find a way to bring the girl back from the dead. In 5th place, we have Dead Man Wonderland. In this anime, we get to know the story of a young man named Genta, who is apparently just a loser, and he kinda is, but his life turns around when he suddenly becomes the main suspect in a series of mysterious murders of a bunch of his school colleagues. After the accusations, Genta is sent to a hardcore prison where the inmates are actually attractions in this huge coliseum, and many of those inmates end up dead. As if being subject to that were not enough, Genta believes the real murderer is inside the prison as well, and so he will do everything in his power to discover the truth and also get his revenge on this guy. In 4th place is Sousei no Onmyoji. In this one we meet Hokuro, who is from a badass family with many exorcists. Hokuro seems to be the one with most potential in the family, but he's not really into the whole exorcism thing and always tries to avoid his chores. One day he meets this gorgeous girl named Benio, who happens to be an exorcist too, and she makes an impression on him, if you know what I mean. And those butterflies in his stomach make total sense because as the story goes on, we actually discover that according to a prophecy, Hokuro and Benio are destined to get married and have a child who shall become the greatest exorcist of the whole world, capable of cleansing all the devil spirits. A very good love story for sure, but it also has great action. Totally recommended. Before I go to your top 3, don't forget to like the video if you're enjoying the list so far to keep me motivated and bring you guys more and more lists like this one. Also subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of my lists and you'll keep on finding more and more exciting anime to watch. If you also happen to have any suggestion for future videos, please let me know in the comment section down below so I can always bring you what you guys most wanna see. And finally, starting our top 3, we got The Gray Man, which takes place in a fictional 19th century. The story is about a young boy named Alan who becomes a member of this organization of exorcists named the Black Order. Their mission is all about stopping a man known as the Millennium Earl, who is like a video game last boss, if you ask me. Although he doesn't have too many motivations to do so, he is planning to destroy the whole world with the help of his demonic army. When talking about dark and heavy anime, this one definitely deserves a spot in the top 3, as the writer once admitted she rewrote a whole scene because she found it too violent for her young audience. There is over 100 episodes in this one, but it's definitely a must-watch for sure. In 2nd place is Garo Hono no Kakuin, the perfect fit for the medieval fantasy fans out there. In this story, we are presented to the majestic Valiant Kingdom, where a massive witch hunt is taking place. In the very beginning, we see a woman who is being burned alive for being considered a witch, and to make things worse and even darker, that woman had just had a child. That child was fated to die too, obviously, but a mysterious knight saves him. Many years later, we get to know Leon, that's actually the boy who was saved by the knight, and we get to know German too. Leon and German are Makai knights, and their objective is to eliminate the horrors. Those are creatures extremely dangerous that are born from humanity's worst feelings. As the story goes, we are presented to more characters, and the story develops greatly. The art style is incredible and the fights are masterpieces. I really enjoyed this one and I bet you guys will do too. And finally, in first place is Tokyo Ravens. This one shows us the life of Harutora, a boy who is also part of a very traditional family of onmyo mages. You know, the kind of mages who use some prayers and scrolls in order to defeat yokais, the demons. Unfortunately, Harutora was born with no spiritual power, so he gets to live a normal and very boring life. One day, the family heir, Natsumi, shows up at Harutora's home and transforms him into her Shikigami, which is sort of a guardian. While being Natsumi's Shikigami, Harutora can finally see the spiritual world and decides to head to Tokyo in order to attend the same onmyo school Natsumi goes to. For those who like magic and stuff, we'll have a great time in watching this one. And that's it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below which one you have already watched or what anime you would add to the list to. Stay tuned for more lists of must-watch anime. See you next time!